Hi, my name is Nicole Frankel, and this is my professional learning facilitator plan. So the contents of my plan aim to, one, give educators opportunities to continue learning and researching new technologies. Two, provide educators with ways to share ideas and knowledge with one another. Three, create authentic learning experiences using technology. And four, help teachers better manage technology use in the classroom. Now, these are four goals that I believe would be most helpful with my school's current technology situation. And this is Hatikva Charter School in East Brunswick, New Jersey. So I focused on four of the ISTE educator standards, the first being learner, the fourth collaborator, the fifth designer, and the sixth facilitator. And I'm going to get into the performance indicators that I focus on and dive into the action steps and benefits. Here are all of the action steps in this 3-year plan, starting with 2021 and going until 2023. Now, obviously, the one-to-one devices is a more long-term goal because funding is necessary for that, but a lot of these action steps are actually realistic goals that could be accomplished in the 2021-2022 school year. And we're going to read all of these action steps standard by standard. So first we have learner, and the performance indicator that I emphasized here was 1C. Stay current with research that supports improved student learning outcomes, including findings from the learning sciences. So our action steps here: quarterly professional development for administrators and staff led by educational technology professionals and education researchers. This would start in September of 2021 and continue onward. During weekly faculty meetings, administrators will provide educators with up-to-date educational technology research to review with colleagues and make a plan for classroom implementation. This is also September 2021 onward. And finally, teachers can receive one paid professional development day a year to attend a technology session and turnkey the information to other teachers. This would begin in August 2022 and onward. For a similar reason to the devices, there needs to be funding for that, and there needs to be a change in how many days teachers need to be physically in the building, as this would be one day that teachers could not be present. And the benefits to this: quarterly professional development is important because they would have the chance to hear from experts about new and exciting technology to use in the classroom. Faculty meeting research time is also important for a similar reason. You're reading from experts about strategies that you could implement in your own classroom. And it doesn't matter how long you've been out of school as an educator, you could still continue acquiring up-to-date information this way. And the paid PD opportunity is important because if every teacher participates, the entire faculty would be exposed to a wide array of knowledge on specialized topics without having to be present for every out-of-school professional development session, which means more knowledge and more time in the classroom with the kids as well. So it's the perfect balance. The next standard is collaborator, and the performance indicator that I selected was demonstrate cultural competency when communicating with students, parents, and colleagues, and interact with them as co-collaborators in student learning. So the action steps for this one are all teachers will set up Remind accounts and have a professional development session dedicated to using Remind efficiently. This would begin in September 2021. For those of you who do not use Remind or are not familiar with it, it is a way to message parents either as a whole class or individually about students or updating them on information. So it's just an app to make that more accessible from one platform. Next is teachers will send out virtual newsletters every other week to summarize what students have been learning and highlight important events. Teachers already send newsletters, but not all are digital. My grade, second grade, actually has already started sending virtual newsletters, and they are so much easier to put together once you get the hang of it. They're less likely to get lost and misplaced, and it seems to be going pretty well. And finally, evening sessions with parents quarterly to introduce families to the technologies being utilized by students. And this would begin in September 2022. For the same reasons, funding and scheduling makes this a longer-term goal. So what are the benefits? Well, for Remind accounts, it's increased parent-teacher communication, and it's more convenient communication. For the virtual newsletters, parents can stay up to date on what is happening in the classroom and what their students are learning, much like paper newsletters. But the benefits of these are that they wouldn't get misplaced or crumpled up in a student's backpack like paper newsletters. And parents could access this from anywhere at any time. And parent tech sessions are important because parents and teachers can work together to assist students as they familiarize themselves with the technology. So students will feel supported both in school and at home. The next standard, which I think is the most important, is Designer. And the performance indicator for this one that I selected was 5B. Design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. So here are action steps. Teachers will receive Storybird accounts for students to use in writing class and other collaborative assignments. This would start in September 2021. Each class would attend a monthly digital citizenship course led by an instructional technology professional. This is something that I also have experience with, as my old school had digital citizenship built into the special schedule for students. This would start in September 2022, as we would need to hire an expert in instructional technology and digital citizenship to take over this course. And finally, one-to-one devices for all students to use during the school day. Middle school students can take the devices home, and that is September 2023. The benefit of Storybird accounts is that students can work together to organize a presentation or stories based on content being covered in class. The digital citizenship course would be useful because students actually get to work with an expert and practice skills that'll help them become 21st century digital citizens. And one-to-one devices are important just for accessibility and students being able to learn in fresh, new ways. And it could also promote student engagement if everyone had their own devices instead of having to share devices or having to go back and forth between using devices and not using devices because there just aren't enough available. So another benefit in my school's particular case is that we recently received a technology grant to help with COVID-19 technology-related expenses. So I'm pretty sure we're more likely to get more grants and that we would qualify as a school since we already got one. I'm really hoping that they'll keep coming and that maybe even the 2023 goal could be pushed up. And the last standard is Facilitator. And the performance indicator I'm emphasizing is 6B, manage the use of technology in student learning strategies in digital platforms, virtual environments, hands-on makerspaces, or in the field. There are 2 action steps for this one. 1, teachers should include in lesson plans what technology is necessary and how it will be used in a technology integration section. This would start in September 2021. And teachers will have access to Flipgrid and Padlet accounts so students can complete virtual gallery walks, both for academic projects and extracurricular events. This could include diversity night, an art show, a talent show, all online. And this could also start in September 2021. So the benefits here are that teachers can easily organize themselves and technology ahead of time. And administrators can clearly see how technology is being integrated into lessons. Teachers can also self-reflect on what technology is working in their classrooms. When I was a student teacher in undergrad at Towson, I did have technology integration in my lesson plan template that I used, and I found it to be very helpful, and my mentor teacher found it to be helpful to know what I plan on doing and how we can prepare for it together. It's not something that we're doing at my school yet, but it is something that can be an easy change with a lot of benefit. And then there's Flipgrid and Padlet access. More evening school events can be held without having to worry about reserving a space or having families in the building after hours and needing people cleaning and preparing for the next school day, or late nights at the building. So it would be very convenient if there are going to be more school events that are going to be held to have some of them online. So for the literature portion, I read an article called Post-COVID-19 Education and Education Technology Solutionism, a Seller's Market. And I just pulled one quote that resonated with me. An urgent task in the COVID-19 pandemic is to actively engage people, networks, projects, research, and public discussions to promote critically and reflectively informed praxis. We need to apply and develop critical applied research methodologies and create design principles for democratic emancipatory digitalization of education. Moreover, we need wider societal dialogue about purposes of education and about the kind of society we want to develop in the COVID-19 world. Technology and their providers should follow suit. So, in conclusion, as all students and teachers switch from remote learning to in-person instruction, it is important to use the resources and knowledge gained from this experience to learn and grow. Education has changed dramatically over the past year, and instead of returning to how things were before the pandemic, we should continue using technology for the purpose of authentic learning and critical thinking, not just for accessibility. It is capable of so much more. So here are my references, and thank you very much for listening to my presentation and watching. Hopefully, this inspired you to think of a few more ideas that would be useful in your own school buildings. I know that this was a great project for self-reflection and reflecting on the school and the situation we're in. And it really made me think about how simple some of these action steps would be to go ahead and implement for the benefit of teachers, administrators, students, and families. Thank you.